Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Live Ones. It is Tuesday, March 1st, 2022. And, well, when you just say to yourself, baseball's not going to happen on time, not so fast. The owner said that February 28th deadline, let's make it March 1st at 5 p.m. That would be right about now. And there's no news. But the fact that they are at least understanding the urgency of what's going to happen if they lose games, which my guess would be they have to refund some money to the various broadcasting groups for the carriage rights, that's where it's really going to hit them. A baseball season, there's no room for error. You have to play 162 games in about 180 days with a 4-day All-Star break in the middle of it. So teams get about 20 days off in the 6 months when you consider rain delays and doubleheaders and the like. But no news as of right now. They honestly seemed way too far apart last night to even think about getting a deal done anytime soon, but who knows? One side might cave. It might be a very productive day today. The other big news, and this is really tragic, one of the most recognizable figures in the history of MMA, former heavyweight champion Cain Velasquez, was arrested in San Jose for attempted murder this morning. Details are still forthcoming. We have no idea exactly what happened or why, but he's being held without bail pending a court date tomorrow, where he's presumably going to be arraigned. And in California, there have to be some pretty severe circumstances for you to be held without bail, particularly now during the pandemic. So this is clearly not a case of them just, sorting out the details. Something very serious has presumably happened. Just incredibly shocking news from a giant of the MMA world, both figuratively and literally. A guy who's never been in any kind of legal trouble. Family man, completely clean public image. We're going to have to watch this news and see what happens. We got back into the swing of things with a great 4-1 night last night. We only missed a clean sweep by 2 points in the total of that Texas Tech game. It's another huge Tuesday night of college hoops as we continue the final week of the regular season. We got big games in the Big East, Big Ten, and the Pac-12. A 6-game slate in the NBA and a 9-game slate in the NHL. Lots to cover. Let's get right to it. And we're going to start in the Big Ten with the feature game of tonight, Purdue and Wisconsin. Purdue's in a revenge spot on the road in a game against Wisconsin with Big Ten title implications. They're also in a get-right spot after they lost to Michigan State in East Lansing 68-65 over the weekend. Wisconsin enters the game with a hot hand, winning 4 out of their last 5. I expect the Boilermakers to at least try to get a fast start and keep the pressure on all game. Purdue enters the game as the number 6 offense in the country, averaging almost 82 points a game. They're 24-0 in contests where they score more than 70 points, and all 5 of their losses have come when they have not scored 70 points. Their defense, however, is a little suspect, ranked 178th in the country. That's bad news against a team that boasts an offense that's more than capable of hitting mid-70 totals against conference opponents, particularly when they're at home. The Badgers are averaging 73 points a game in Madison. I expect a total that approaches 150, so give me the over 144.5 tonight. Off to the SEC, Tennessee and Georgia. It doesn't have to be said how bad a team Georgia is. They're the worst team in the SEC by a wide margin, but this is a big line here. 16 points is a huge number for Tennessee to lay in this spot on the road. The Volunteers are coming off their biggest win of the year over Auburn, and they have a huge home game to close out the year against number 14 Arkansas. You think this isn't a look-ahead spot for them? You think they don't lay back and not take this game particularly seriously on the road tonight? This is Georgia's final home game of the year. They've had an abysmal season, but they are saying goodbye to 3 seniors. It's their last hurrah. These guys are going to be motivated to at least try. They're going to get up for this game. Give me the Bulldogs and the 16 points. Tennessee's going to win this game, but there's no way they're going to be giving it their all. It's going to be a walkthrough for them. I think Georgia covers. Late night action in the Pac-12, another big game with big title implications, Arizona and USC. Arizona had its 9-game winning streak snapped in embarrassing fashion against Colorado, getting outscored by 21 points in the second half, en route to a 16-point loss. You might think this would be a bounce-back spot for a team that many have pegged as a surefire Final Four candidate. And yes, the Wildcats already defeated USC once this season, winning at home back on February 5th, 72-63. However, since that loss, the Trojans have won 6 straight games and have done so in dramatic fashion. They've won 4 of those contests by 3 points or less. They're playing the kind of tough-nose, grinded-out basketball that you have to play to win the big games like this. Plus, they are at home, where they boast a 13-2 record so far this year. The Wildcats are 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 games, following a straight-up loss. The Trojans have the 6th-ranked overall defense in the country. If they can't pull off the home upset here, they can at least keep it close. Give me the home dogs here, USC plus 4.5 points. Over to the NBA and the Mavericks and the Lakers. The Mavericks completely rebuilt their roster with the Porzingis trade, and it's working out pretty well for them so far. Since the trade, Dallas is 4-2, and their offense is scoring 120 points a game, which they needed. I mean, they were sorely lacking in offensive firepower coming into the trade deadline. The Lakers are in a complete tailspin. They've lost 7 out of their last 10. They're already without Anthony Davis, and now it looks like LeBron James is going to be questionable for them tonight with a sore knee. Without the two of them, the Lakers simply have no chance. The Mavericks have the 5th-ranked overall defense in the NBA, and the Lakers simply don't have the firepower to break through it. Home court hasn't been an advantage to the spread. The Lakers are just 13-20 ATS in the Staples Center. I'm taking the Mavericks as the road favorite, laying the 4.5 points. This is just way too much of a mismatch for my liking. Last but not least, the NHL, the Oilers and the Flyers. The Edmonton Oilers' 5-game road trip continues tonight when it faces the Philadelphia Flyers. It's been a mixed bag of results for the Oilers. They've dropped 2 out of 3 games so far, but to their defense, it was against 2 of the best teams in the league, in the Florida Panthers and the Carolina Hurricanes. But this is a good bounce back spot for Edmonton. They kind of look subpar in both of their games. They've got to salvage this road trip, and that's trouble for a Flyer squad that tends to get scored on a lot. In the Flyers' last 12 games, they've given up 3 or more goals in all but 2 of them. The Flyers have allowed a power play goal in 8 out of their past 12 games, dropping their penalty kill rate to 76%. That's pathetic. 6th worst in the league. This is simply not going to fly against an Edmonton squad that is 3rd in the NHL in power play percentage. The total for this game is just a little too high for my liking at 6.5. I just can't trust the Flyers' offense to do their part to getting to 7 goals. I also don't like the puck line value at plus 155. I considered it, but it's Mike Smith between the pipes for Edmonton tonight, and he's just awful, like really, really awful. I like the Oilers' team total over 3.5 goals. I think they could absolutely get to 4 tonight against this absolutely terrible Flyers defense and special teams. That's going to be it for me tonight, folks. Have yourselves a great Tuesday night. Bet safe, stay safe. Follow us on Twitter at Live One Sports. Check us out on Roku and Fire TV at the Live Ones. Enjoy the Tuesday night of sports, and I will see you tomorrow.